Hi, I'm Henry, aka Henners. I'm a singer-songwriter, producer, classical musician, and massive Eurovision fan. And I'm reacting and analysing the Eurovision 2026 entries as they're announced and released. Today I'm taking a look at Croatia's entry for Eurovision 2026, the winner of Dora. I'd listened to the snippets of all the songs when they first came out, but I don't tend to listen to the full national final songs to save it for this reaction, and then maybe I'll go back if there were any that stood out to me that I want to hear the full thing of. To be honest, I didn't hear too much about Dora. I think the main things for me was that Lelek were in it and they were great and were probably going to win, and also that there was a song called Dora, which was kind of fun. So I don't really know what to expect too much. I know that Lelek, did they compete last year maybe, I think, and they've come back to get that win. I'm under the impression that it's a sort of traditional, more ethnic sort of folky vibe, so if that's the case then that's exciting. I think it's a group of girls. We'll see, we'll find out together. During my reaction I am going to have to make a few cuts for copyright, but the extended reaction where you can see my full reaction to the national final performance will be on my Patreon if you'd like to check it out over there, along with the other extended reactions for all the other entries I have reacted to up until now. So I'm intrigued, I'm just going to get on with it. This is Lelek with Andromeda. I'm just going to read this here because I feel like this is quite interesting to know before I watch this video. In Greek mythology, Andromeda was a princess chained to a rock as a sacrifice to a sea monster. She was rescued by Perseus. Because of this story, her name is often linked to suffering and injustice, a representation of a desire for salvation or liberation. So I'm getting the vibe that this is going to be a sort of empowering anthem, maybe a bit mournful for women that have been belittled or sacrificed because of men. I don't know. We'll find out. So, without further ado, let's go. I don't know about that. Here we go. Few songwriters, I assume they're all in the group, maybe. Ooh! All dramatic. Okay, before we get into it too musically, I'm just gonna break down what I'm seeing. So, well, we had that dramatic swelling intro that I'll go back to. I love this sort of traditional symbols that they've got on their face, sort of clothing a bit like rags, but they look very angelic, sort of forest witchy vibes in a good way. The LEDs look really cool. They look like they were in some kind of massive, grand, or sort of mythical hall or cavern. I'm just going to go back to get all of that again. Synthy sound. Oh, looks like kind of Egyptian tomb. What a beautiful voice. Lovely softer tone. Brilliant control. Da 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 da. It's very nice subtle vibrato added in. Oh, look at them looking into the camera. Oh, cool harmony. Wow, oh, that looks really cool. Is that just on the LEDs? Wow, they're so well presented, I think. I think the production team have done a great job. Don't know how much creative input they had, but their engagement with the camera is just really like, I can't take my eyes off of it. Sort of quite balanced melody, the sort of thing that you would hear in folk music, and when they were singing together they used that's slightly more abrasive, and I don't mean that in a bad way, just slightly more harsh tonal quality that you hear in sort of white voice singing. I love this tableau. I think the smoke's very effective. Yeah, there. Wow. Ooh. Oh, okay. I just need to break everything down. So we've got quite a good range of harmonies. I can't quite work out how many different lines there are going on, but some are in that kind of lower, bassier, more alto range. It's just all coming together very nicely. Loving all of these arm gestures. Don't look gimmicky or performative. I like the trees, they look cool. The stage looks huge. I didn't realise Dora had such a big stage. I think this is hitting harder knowing that context a bit. I can see a sort of anger, well, I can see a lot of anger coming through with their facial expressions, and it feels mournful and full of rage, but in quite a poetic way, I think. Beautiful voices. And even though they are quite repetitive melodies, I think the instrumentation and staging allows it to develop nicely without without any of the melodies or repeated sections feeling too tried and tested. What is it with the sort of, between the verses and stuff, we've got this kind of stuttery synth that we had in Søren's song for Denmark, which almost sounds like the Tattoo intro. I feel like that just seems to be a staple this year. I love all these tableaus, so effective. Oh, spirits coming out in the LEDs. So that's really nice, that's built. So, what did the first lady do? And then we add a third. So we're moving in a parallel third, so 3 vocal lines. Beautiful composition. Oh. Oh, key change. Oh, I love it. They do it like a really cool coven, kind of. Up on that C, that lead vocalist. It does feel quite chant-like. Very well choreographed and locked with their movement. I mean, they're doing quite like dramatic arm movements, but it doesn't feel performative and tacky or gimmicky like I think it would be in danger of coming across as, but I think it feels what it's meant to feel like, quite witchy, almost like they're summoning the power of, I don't know, femininity or nature. Very powerful. Wow. Whoa. Taken aback with that last bit. I'm like, oh my gosh. I felt tears coming up to my eyes. How high did we go up there? I don't want an ad. I want to go back. I want to do it again. Up to the F. Wow. I'm loving all these symbols. I'd love to know if you know what the specifics of these symbols mean. Let me know in the comments. Right, I'm excited to look at the lyrics because there was obviously a lot of emotional messaging and power coming through that I didn't quite understand the specifics of, but the general vibe I think was there and was clearly conveyed through the staging. While you light a candle, ask your grandma why she gave birth to daughters in fear. Why did so many choose the graveyard? Our mothers did not give birth to slaves. So many tears have flowed like a river. Why is history being written again from the beginning? Our sons are not subjects. I think that's profound. Our sons are not subjects. Yeah, I think this is a sort of, I don't want to say turning to nature because that makes it sound like a cliche. I don't think it's quite like that specifically. I think it's naturally man and woman coexist, and it's sort of a human concept that woman is the lesser sex, the second sex theory that's just been imposed on nature, but that's not really a real thing. So it's why is history being written again from the beginning? It's all these stories through various traditions and other kinds of beliefs that sort of go against nature and say that actually no, one is weaker than the other, but that's not really how nature exists in terms of societal hierarchy. And I think that's especially profound now in a time where a lot of governments and ideologies are moving to the right again with those traditional beliefs that are labelled traditional but actually are quite unnatural beliefs that just completely go against how nature actually is. Lead me to the stars, to the shattered nest, where with screams they see the soldiers off. Lead me to the stars, far from every gaze. Yeah, well that sounds like a turning to nature thing. Lead me to the stars. All the scars carved down to the bone, no mother will ever forgive you, while they wash their hands in the blood of our wounds, traitors, traitors. I don't know if there's probably a more specific historical and political context behind the song that I don't know, so please do let me know of the story if you know in the comments. Lead me to the stars, and then we've just got Andromeda. I mean, that was kind of the bit that got me when they were just saying the name of that Greek. Was she a goddess or just a princess? Just saying the name of that princess over and over again, like they were mourning for her, was just absolutely gorgeous. Right, now I would love for something like that to qualify. I'm going to look at Croatia's track record to sort of compare this to how they have been doing. Different to all of these entries, I think. I don't think in this decade they've really gone with an ethnic, artistic, powerful message quite in the same way as any of these. I think it's interesting that the entries from 23 and 24 that had more obvious televote novelty, with maybe more humorous or communal crowd hyping up moments, were the ones that did better. I don't think any of the other songs were particularly bad. I think it's just the creative vision, and I think that novelty wasn't really good enough to get that qualification for those entries. But I think the novelty aspect of Lelek's song is there for different reasons than 23 and 24. And I think within the half of the semi-final that Croatia has been drawn into, they've got Greece, which is upbeat and humorous, same kind of with Moldova. Sweden will probably send something upbeat. We've got Georgia, who looks like they're going to be sending something upbeat, and then Finland's probably going to be quite go-y as well. So I think this will stand out amongst that, which is really good for them and promising for them to get that qualification. I think jury can be really hit and miss with this kind of things. I think when the staging is more novelty and there's quite a clear creative vision, like with Tautomatas, it's got a stronger chance, which I think this has. But if it's a more ethnic entry that's a bit more unique but less maybe palatable, something like Fulen, then it doesn't do as well. But I think this is kind of between those two, so I think it's got a strong chance. I'm praying for them that it does qualify. And then in the final, I think again, same thing. If it's not swallowed up completely by everything around it, which I think it will stand out, then I think in both the jury and the televote, it should get some love. I think for the televote, it will probably play into a more of a niche audience rather than get a massive televote across the board, but I think it should get some points and shouldn't completely flop. I'd love it to do really well, but I just think compared to more novelty entries like Greece and probably what we'll get with like Finland, for example, it may sink lower. So I'm thinking probably right hand side of the leaderboard, but I mean, good for Croatia for sending something like this. I really thoroughly enjoyed it. Having actually just looked at the semi-final entries from this decade, I would like to know more about the Croatian music scene, to be honest, because there does seem to be a lot of variety and I feel like I don't hear too much about it, so maybe I need to dive further into Dora. Please let me know if you've got any recommendations on ways to learn more about Croatian music, pop music in Croatia. It just seems really fascinating, and I just kind of realised then that I actually don't know a whole load about it, so yeah. Then if I were to look at the jury criteria for composition and originality, I'd give this a 9 out of 10. I think all the different chord choices, there was a cool key change, which is really effective and unique. The lyrics were obviously really powerful, and the storytelling is just great, incredible, complex, intricate metaphors. And then the harmony lines were really quite beautifully written. Vocal capacity of artists, I've said 9. I think with even more practice, the vocal blend will just keep getting better and better. But I mean, a group of very incredible, obviously, vocalists. Performance on stage, I've said 10. They did such a great job of conveying that vibe of folklore, sort of ethnic symbolism. And obviously with their performances, I hope you could tell I was very captivated. They really did a good job of expressing that sort of anger and mournful rage that we looked at with the lyrics. Overall impression, I've given it a 10 because I loved it. bringing us to a total of 38 out of 40, which I think is tied for first with my jury ranking, so well done, Lelek. So that was my reaction to Croatia's Eurovision 2026 entry. What did you think? Please let me know in the comments. If you did enjoy this video and would like to see more reactions, please do consider subscribing, and then it will be easier for you to see all of the reactions as they come out, and you can go and watch all my previous ones, which are on a playlist. You can follow me on my socials, Henry Laux and Henry Laux Music, and you can stream my music too if you like, which does sort of have similar vibes and themes to Lelek, so you may be interested in that. And if you do want to support my channel and my music further, then you can make a one-off donation on Buy Me a Coffee if you would like. Thank you so much for watching. I'm very grateful to you for clicking on this video, and I hope to see you in another one very soon. Goodbye.